Guys, the market is tanking, but I'm having some of my best days investing ever. So what am I doing that makes my portfolio different than most people's? Because most people are losing. Most stocks that you see on the internet are down crazy this month. We're talking about Micron, Tesla, Intel, AMD, SoFi, Sandisk. I could keep going on with all the hyped up ones like ASDS, Bloom Energy, so many that you see hyped up on TikTok, on Instagram and whatever, maybe YouTube as well. And they're just plummeting for a good reason. They've all been up a ton. Like memory stocks, they've been up so much. Literally just like what we saw with quantum last year, what we saw with a bunch of AI the year before. There's always a very big thing, a very big hyped up thing that happens every year, and then it's only a matter of time till it pulls back. Right now, memory is pulling back, but that's coinciding with AI and really anything related to AI and semiconductors. That's all cooling off right now. So the whole market is feeling it because that's what's been keeping the market up so much. So let's go over what makes sense to buy and what makes sense to sell. Like, what am I doing in my portfolio and why? Well, we'll go over all that, but I'm just going to show you guys I'm able to make a ton of money from swing trading, which I'm alerting every day in the Discord. So make sure you're in there if you're not already. We took Intel, leveraged Intel for a huge win. It popped up, I think, about 25% at the peak for earnings before pulling back. So I already had an automatic profit target, and that hit very, very quickly, made me a lot of money, made you guys a lot of money. So we love to see that. Then we went and took Bloom Energy leverage shares. That hit as well. That was a monster of a profiting trade for me yesterday because I was in with leverage with a lot of money. So I was able to make a lot more than what I lost on just holding long-term investments. And of course, holding long-term investments that are going down isn't really a bad thing. Like one of the only stocks I'm down on is Oracle, and I hope so badly that it keeps going down so I can keep buying at a lower price. The thing is, there are stocks that I've been saying like Sandisk, like Micron, like ASTS and Rocket Lab that I've been shorting. I've been shorting all those, and those are not ones that I would be, buying the dip or holding just because they're going down. Those should go down and for good reason. So let's go over these 8 stocks. I'm going to go super quickly over each one and show you guys whether I would buy or sell it in a straightforward way so you can maybe repeat this with some of your favorite positions. But of course, if you want me to go over one of your favorite stocks or one that you're looking at, feel free to comment down below which one I should look at next. So CoreWeave is down about 40% this month. What you'll notice is that I chose stocks that are all in downtrends. I'm in some stocks like Robinhood, like American Airlines, and a handful of other ones that are up a lot recently, but I'm specifically looking at buying these dips right now, the dips that we're getting. I'm trying to jump on these new opportunities, right? So CoreWeave down 40%. This is a stock with a very high price target of about 138. Let's see down here. We can fact check myself. There we go. So 138, 127% expected upside for the next 12 months. I got in this IPO back in 2025, early 2025, at about $40 per share, and it exploded since then. So I haven't bought the stock, I haven't touched it at all because I understood it was trading pretty much off of hype more than profits, more than EPS changes, things that I look at specifically for my long-term investments. So what did I do? I waited for it to be in a downtrend with some short-term catalysts. Now, I am not buying this stock heavily just yet, but it is one that I'd like to add here to the list of stocks that I'm looking to buy rather than sell, or at least not buy, because we're now getting very, very close to the initial public offering price, but also this is after Nvidia took a massive stake in them. This is after they're making this switch right now from negative to positive, basically going from unprofitable to very, very profitable. And the craziest thing is they're going to be taking in $60 billion worth of revenue by 2029. By the way, their market cap shows it right here, 33 billion. So if they're taking in 60 billion and their market cap is 33 billion, right, that's a pretty easy opportunity there. The problem is, just like Oracle, guys, they're taking debt. They're taking on debt to be able to fund what they're doing with data centers, right? So because they're taking on debt, the market, just like they're doing with Oracle, is viewing this as something that's a little too speculative. So what I'm looking to do here is jump in while people are selling it. And sure, like it could drop to 50, it could drop to 40, whatever, I'll buy the dip. But then I'll be holding shares for when it hits its price target at like 138 or maybe even higher if it goes back to all-time highs or even higher, depending on how much of that revenue they're actually able to lock in by 2029. So this is a long-term investment, and I'm going to put CoreWeave as a buy, just like I would put Oracle as a buy because they're taking on debt, but for very, very good reason. And they've got they basically have that revenue locked in. By 2030, by the end of 2030, they have about $100 billion worth of backlog. So, that could be another year that it doubles in share price depending on how well they're able to execute it, how quickly and effectively, really. So CoreWeave, I'm putting it as a buy. We'll go a little bit quicker with these next stocks, guys. Micron, I'm still going to call it a sell, and hate on me all you want. I've been right all year long. I think this will be a $500 stock. I think that this is going to keep falling. Let's see their price target. I remember the last time I talked to you guys about this when it was at $1,000. I was saying this has to fall. And we see this pretty much repeated with everything. So their price target is, like I was saying, everything with AI, with data centers, things like that. Every year it's a new thing. So the price target is very, very high. The only thing really that I don't like is how bullish people are on this company just because of the fact that their PE ratio is low. So people are buying this stock so much because they have a ratio of 6, which is not, super, super low. I guess it's not super high either. Like it's where a stock like this I think should be. I don't think that means you have to go put your life savings, into it just because it's got a ratio of 6. So this stock has gone up a ton. I think that, like, sure, it's got a low PE ratio, whatever, but you're late to the train. Like, you should have bought when it didn't have a crazy high price to sales ratio. And now, sure, it's a quote unquote low PE ratio, but whatever, enough with the ranting. I bought this stock at $200. I would not pay a penny over $500 for this stock because the thing is, even if it bottoms out here, it's probably not going to go right back up. It's probably going to be staying just around, this $700 to $900 range for a very long time. Nothing about Micron, nothing about what they're doing right now should send it to all-time highs. So unlike CoreWeave, which is at a very good, in my opinion, arbitrage opportunity here, Micron doesn't really have that because of how far they've gone up, right? So it's two different kinds of dips, where one should have a correction based on the numbers. The other, it's like it doesn't have to, but maybe there's enough hype to bring it back up. We'll see. I'm not going to put my money in Micron and find out. Amazon, this to me is a very clear buy if they fall for earnings tomorrow. That's literally tomorrow. So congrats if you're watching this video before the earnings happen, because if the stock drops below $200, which is only a 5% drop at this point, well, no, a little bit more than 5%, maybe like a 7-8% drop at this point, I could be buying. I'm definitely looking to buy, maybe not leverage, probably just regular shares, but I think it's ridiculous that Amazon has made almost no progress since all the way back here in November of 2024, basically Q4 of 2024. Their earnings have continued to grow, but their stock price hasn't. So I think that's a good opportunity right there. And I outlined for you guys here what would have happened if you bought every Q4 when the stock was in a downtrend. If you bought, then you would have made money every single time, very consistently and a lot of money. If you bought every time, there would have been 1 or 2 times where you would have lost in its history as a company, which is here, 21 to 2022, because the entire market pulled back and tech stocks were extremely high. I remember that. And then I started trading in very early 2022. So I was able to buy Amazon stock for a very low price when that whole thing was happening. But anyways, you also could potentially have lost money depending on your entries here from 25 to, well, sorry, this is 24 to 25. So there were a couple times, but this, we'll call it break even. If you held for literally another week, you would have made a lot of money. So we're okay there, right? So I'm looking to do the same thing, repeating the process with Amazon in Q4 while it's on a dip, because historically you've never lost money doing that. Tesla, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy this. It's just too expensive for me, and I think SpaceX stock going down is going to continue to put negative pressure on this company for a while. Last year, I bought them for $200 per share, basically on the dot. I'm looking to do the same thing this year. If Tesla can fall to 200, I'll buy. If it can't, it's okay. I'm just not going to add it to my portfolio because check out their price target. It's not even super exciting. 381, that would be a move back up of about 28%. Like, I could put my money in Oracle, and if everything goes well, I would argue it's the same amount of risk. If everything goes well, then I'm making maybe 100% or 150% on Oracle within a couple years, and with Tesla, it could be maybe like 50%. We'll see, right? So I'm willing to take the risk with Oracle, but not with Tesla for a stock that has already a pretty high price to sales ratio. It's already gone up a good bit. Tesla is just like the best case scenario, couldn't make me much money, so why risk it? Intel. This stock has made me so much money in the past. I've taken so many amazing trades on Intel in the last couple years, more so recently with the boom. But Intel is now way below $100, which is very surprising because Congress members have been buying. They've been buying the dip pretty much all the way down, so they're actually down on this. So that's got me thinking, actually, this just hit me. Nancy Pelosi added to her position heavily with a multi-million-dollar buy at about $100. So all those politicians are now down on their investment, including Nancy Pelosi. This was a $140 stock literally just, let's see, a month ago? Just about a month ago? This is crazy. $140 stock. It's pulled back off of a cliff. So Intel is actually one that I am looking to buy in the semiconductor space. People have been asking, what would I go with? Amazon? Sorry, Micron, not Amazon. Intel, AMD, or Nvidia. Which one am I taking? There's a couple others, but those are the big ones that I follow. I would take Intel because I think that the US is still going to prioritize them inside of their own country, the United States, of course. And that's worked out really well for the share price already. I think that's going to keep helping them. That's why I was buying the stock here at $19.50. But I think, it could be a $20 stock, it could be a $80 stock, or $140. I still think they're going to have a little bit of an advantage, specifically from the US government. And I also think that's a reason why government members are literally buying into this stock, right? They already took a 10% stake, but they continue to buy the dip through Congress. So that's something I'm looking to get it on Intel, and honestly, it doesn't really matter what price. I would like to hold this for a very long time. AMD, I'm going to say no, and I'll make this really quick. AMD was one of my biggest gainers of all time. I bought here in the 70s, and this was basically like my Oracle setup or my Intel setup of last year, where now I'm doing kind of the same thing with Oracle, where I think it'll have an explosive move like AMD did and like Intel did and Moderna, all the other stocks I had huge reversals on. But in this case, for a buyer right now, I'm not seeing it. I actually just told my brother about a month ago when AMD was at all-time highs, he should probably cash out on that leverage AMDL position I got him into last year, which is up about 2,000%, and the stock has done very poorly since then, so I'm glad we took him out of that, because yeah, he would have lost a lot of money. Now they've got earnings in 6 days. Every quarter for the last year in a row has been record breaking. If they break another record, yeah, the stock price will probably rebound. I just don't see this stock making me a lot of money if I were to buy it. I really don't. I would need AMD probably in the $300 range, if at anything really, if at all. I don't really need this. It's basically like taking a risk at this point. Let's see their price target real quick. We'll do this together. 573. Yeah, it's not going to make me much money, guys. I'm not buying AMD. SoFi. This is a straightforward one because the CEO has bought every dip. He bought $2 million, well, $1 million of shares here, $1 million of shares here, and for this dip, he bought leveraged. So he bought call options on his own company. I think that is extremely bullish. This is basically my average. My average is like 15.5, I believe. So right now I'm actually about break even for the first time in a very long time, and I'm looking to buy the dip for sure All the growth metrics are up 2 to 3 digits. This to me is one of the biggest no-brainers. Feel free to, tell me I'm wrong or whatever, but this is actually one of the biggest no-brainers, I think. The only thing I don't like is that their price target is pretty mid, only 34% upside, even after the stock tanked today. So I'm holding this as kind of like a defensive play where it's probably not going to lose me much money at this price. Like, it'll probably outperform the market, but it's not going to make me, super rich. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with outperforming the market a little bit, and sometimes we get some pleasant surprises. So we'll see. But SoFi I want to take the risk on. Sandisk, no, absolutely not. I've been making fun of Sandisk investors for so long. I shorted it almost at the top. These shorts are up like 150% as of today because it was literally just a leverage ETF. If I bought puts, man, those things would be up like 10,000%. I should have bought puts, but all good. There will always be more opportunities next year. There's going to be people hyping up another sector, and it's going to be an easy short position as well. Sandisk is a stock that has recovered actually extremely well from each one of these dips. It's recovered super well. Like, it fell all the way down to 1,500 and it went back up to 2,000. Same thing, it went down to 1,300 and it went almost to 2,000. Like, this is a stock that has recovered from the dips extremely well. The thing is, I'm not going to park my money in here while it's falling off a cliff. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think it is a really good company, but is it worth the money? Probably not. This was a $33 stock, literally less than a year ago, guys. I can't wrap my head around buying it for $1,000, even $500. I can't do it. I can't do it. 2,300, 2,400, that's an easy short opportunity for me. It's just degenerate levels of gambling, but for now, I just showed you stocks I'm looking to buy, stocks I'm looking to definitely not buy. Make sure to join the Discord. I've made so much money in the last week, basically the last week and a half swing trading, and I take all those trades live. So get in there, guys. Make sure to subscribe and have a great night.